With last night being the season finale of Raw, what would happen on the season finale of SmackDown Live? Find out as we review SmackDown Live for the week of September 24th, 2019 on WrestleDOWN. Hey guys, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to work.
I am the Rocket, and you're watching WGS-TV.
What's up, guys? I'm the Wrestle Gamer. Welcome back to WrestleDOWN right here on WGS-TV. Couple of things to do here before we get started. On yesterday's podcast, it was kind of noticed by my physical therapist that I was not wearing my finger brace on the video, so she kind of got a little sore at me. So shout out to Miss Elias, and Miss Elias, look, I'm wearing it on tonight's episode. For those of you who don't know, I have a bit of a trigger finger problem, where if my finger bends to a certain degree, it actually dislocates out of the socket, and I have to snap it back in. So that's why I actually...
Just eaten, Billy. I've just eaten.
Imagine how it would feel. Imagine how it would feel. But...
That's why I'm shaking.
So this is the purpose of the brace, to keep it from that happening. So again, shout out to Miss Elias. I just wanted to give her a shout out, let her know that, hey, I'll be wearing it in future podcast episodes from now on. But anyway, guys, you see him right here, Studley Man Ashley. Ashley, how you doing? Other than what you just saw.
Okay.
That sums it up. That sums it up. Well, considering, look, the shirt. But anyway, tonight was...
Oh, I can't see it, remember. I'm trying to remember.
Well, it's the Kabuki Warriors t-shirt.
Hang on, let me go to the screenshots that you showed to make sure it looks right. Oh, no, yeah.
Alright, well...
Yeah.
Well, anyway, while Ashley looks at that, tonight was the last night of SmackDown Live on Tuesday nights, as next week will mark the premiere of Friday Night SmackDown on the Fox Network. However, one thing we want to mention is what happened on Raw after they went off the air last night. Rollins would hit a stomp on The Fiend, but The Fiend would no-sell it. Rollins would go for a super kick and several more stomps to try to put The Fiend down. But as he hit the final stomp, the lights would go down, but not very much, because it was plainly visible to see that Bray was rolling out of the ring here. Now, it's not the best quality of footage, but it is still quite visible right here, Ash, that people can see, Bray Wyatt rolling out of the ring. But when the lights came up, Rollins sold it as Bray disappearing out of nowhere.
True, but because of how bad because they still had, I guess, like the emergency lighting on or whatever in that building, because obviously it's a newer building, the Chase Center. Yeah, it's newly open for Raw and SmackDown for the last couple of days. Also, what didn't help, which I don't think you can see from that angle, because the guys on the front row of the corner where you're seeing the shot from, there is a guy with a phone that it's the reason why I think you can see it is because his phone is like this, it's like that. It's like, bloody hell, that's probably mixed all my bloody lighting now.
Yeah,
the camera's like, is it too bright, is it too dark, is it too bright, it's adjusting. But that's what it was. It was like, Jesus. Also, the arena's lit. Why do you need the bloody big light on your phone in order to film something from the crowd? I understand if it was dark and whatever, but, the lights are on, and I understand turning them on when it happened, when it went dark. which it does so, and you see some people put their phones on with the torch, that they're filming it with, sort of thing, with light, whatever. So, but on one of the clips that I have seen from people in the arena, you hear them audibly saying, there's that Tim running. He's running away. So, the problem... So, rather than having the lights dark and making it look like, he has just disappeared, obviously he has to run away somewhere. But instead, what they did is have the lights not be dark enough so some fans could legitimately see. You won't see it with a phone. Phone cameras, for what you are not going to be that sort of good quality to be able to see it.
Yeah.
People saw him running to the back, which doesn't help the image that you're trying to do. Also, the whole thing of, like, surely you want the Fiend to look strong. And then Seth basically beats him. He curb stomps him, celebrates, the lights go off. They come back on with the weird screechy music, and he's doing the mandible claw thing. But Seth powers out of it and delivers a super kick, and I think 3 more stomps, just like he did to Raw at the pay-per-view. Then they have the bit that we're trying to show you sort of via still, just so we don't get sort of copyright struck by WWE. Even though whatever, it's there's plenty of videos out there that are doing it. And then the lights go up, and Becky comes out, and Becky and Seth celebrate together, and it's like, well, that's even more of a weird sort of to send the fans home happy.
Well,
they were happy with what
I think they were doing a dark match, because I believe I even heard the ring announcer saying that the following was a tag team match. So I think they were doing a tag team dark match featuring Becky Lynch. I'm not sure who else were, because from the video I saw, it cut off right at that point after they made the announcement that it was a tag team match featuring Becky Lynch.
Yeah, let's see if there was a Raw dark match.
I would assume so from the way the video went.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure. Quick look. The 4 Horsewoman Showdown.
Wait.
So
they did it as a dark match. It's going to be on the Fox premiere next week.
Yes, that's why they did it. So that's the only chance they'll get to practice.
All right. Well, we wanted to share that information with you guys. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the final SmackDown Live on the USA Network.
WGS-TV reviews SmackDown Live, brought to you by Fruity Wipes.
Erick Rowan came out to start SmackDown Live and called himself an artist for what he and Harper did last week, but quickly out would come Daniel Bryan, who challenged Rowan to a match. This basically became dominating heel versus face underdog. I'm assuming Bryan is the face in this angle, all things considered. Bryan would have his brief moments of offense against Rowan, but about 80% of the match was Rowan dominating Bryan. Bryan somehow would lock on the lapel lock, but was unable to get Rowan to tap out. Just when it looked like Bryan had things in control, Harper would make his presence known, but Bryan would try to take it to Harper with a tope suicida, but it wouldn't faze him. Bryan squared off with Harper on the outside, but Rowan would grab him by the hair, and from the outside, Rowan would hit the Iron Claw Slam, but on the way down inside the ring, Bryan's leg would get caught in the ropes. Now, at this point right here, it's hard to tell if the spot was intentional or botched, but right for me, Ash, I'm leaning towards the latter due to the fact that after the spot, Rowan went immediately, I'm talking about not even a second, to the ropes to try to get Daniel Bryan down. And the look he kind of had on his face, to me, kind of told me that, Jesus, this was messed up, I got to get him down.
Something like that. Part of me think it was... not sort of a botch, and that it was planned, but by Rowan sort of thinking the best way to do it would be just yank him out and he'll slide out. Like, I hope he's better than that. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's sort of, it's on the verge of, is it botch or is it sort of stage? Because it sort of could be. Plus, you know, that's a handy injury for Daniel Bryan to have, or Saudi.
As a Fanatical just decided to make their presence known here on the podcast tonight. So, hi, Fanatical! But, anyway.
Fanatical, it says,
there's a shadow bundle.
Kaboga.
Well, the finish of the match came when Rowan would hit yet another Iron Claw slam on Bryan to pick up the win. After the match, Harper and Rowan wanted to do more damage to Bryan, but out would come Roman Reigns to even the odds. Bryan would eventually take out Harper with the running knee, while Roman Reigns would take out Harper with the spear. Then Bryan would throw out the challenge for a tag match with him and Reigns to take on the Bludgeon Brothers, and we would find out eventually, later on in the evening, that the matchup is set for at Hell in the Cell, the Bludgeon Brothers to take on... Well, I'm calling them the Bludgeon Brothers regardless, because they were better as the Bludgeon Brothers than just to be Harper and Rowan. But it's basically them taking on Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. And one thing you said during the live reactions tonight on Twitch, Ash, is that you're fearing that Daniel Bryan might be behind all of this.
I just fear this is, you know, I'm just going on the logic of Bischoff, and all that, or whoever in creative is doing this, that they're carrying it over to both. I should say that it probably isn't Bischoff. Oh, sorry, that's the bit that's later. I just feel it's like, you know, I know Russo isn't involved, but he has connections to, and we know that Bischoff is just as much a fan of the Swerve as Russo was. You know, and the weird thing is that would be, so I guess that means Bryan did take over the Wyatt family. Everybody else left.
Yeah.
Bray became the Fiend, and the Bludgeon Brothers found their true dad in a beardy man from Aberdeen, Washington. I think
that's right.
I was going to say Seattle, but that's I think the nearest technical venue, even though it isn't actually. Kabuki!
Michael Cole will interview Kofi Kingston about his upcoming WWE Championship defense next week against Brock Lesnar. Kofi will go on to talk about his victories against the people he's faced this year, like Samoa Joe, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, and so on. Kofi would also go on to say that he feels that he's on top of his game and that he was ready to take on Lesnar. Not much of a thrilling interview, to say the least. If anything, not much better than what Becky Lynch did last night on Monday Night Raw, Ash.
Yeah, but he's so excited for the season premiere on Fox next week and all the great things that WWE are going to do with Fox. Can I give you a propaganda? Hell yeah. Oh, my brother. Propagandify.
Well, speaking of things to get angry about, Chad Gable was out there next to talk about his run in the King of the Ring wasn't short at all, and that is until the beta cuck himself, Mike Kanallis, came out to...
No.
Well, yeah, I'm going to say it. I can say it because this is my podcast. I can say that on here. Saying it on a nationwide TV audience on the USA Network, I think is on a completely different level.
I'm just thinking you're gonna get demonetized.
Well, we said fuck so many times on the podcast before, then I don't see how it hasn't.
Fuck.
We said it.
You said fuck. Shit. What a bastard.
Son of a bitch! I can't believe we did that. But anyway, Mike Kanallis came out to make fun of Gable's stature and challenged him to a match. This is how the match went. Gable would hit a belly-to-belly suplex, a rolling German suplex, and they would lock on the ankle lock on Kanallis to make him tap out. Thank God Maria didn't come out after that. My head would have exploded. However, Elias would appear on the Titantron to do the one thing right now that apparently the heels are doing, and the only way for them to get heat against Chad Gable, making up a song mocking Gable's stature once again. And again, for those of you who joined us on the live reactions on Twitch, Ashley, you were a little bit sour about that.
I'm sick of this. Yeah. I probably shouldn't have said what I did, but it's just how I felt in the heat of the moment. It's just... I'm sick of these childish storylines that's treating as everybody's watching is sort of like 9 years. You know, you come up short in that regard. I can't wait for Don't Be a Bully, Be a Star to start again. Because, you know, this epitomizes it. Ever so slightly.
A little.
Double standards much, Stephanie? I know it's your birthday as well.
Well,
but it's just... keep in mind, half the people that watch Raw and SmackDown, I don't know what the stats are for NXT. I don't think they've been fully discovered yet, because obviously we've only got 1 hour to go on from last week. Nearly half the audience that watches Raw and SmackDown is over 50. I think over 50s, you know, it's maybe only when you get to the more sort of senile, sort of Alzheimer's period, when you might be like, hey, short jokes. You know, because it's simple humor. I'm pretty sure most adults are just like, oh, we're doing that again, right?
Yep.
Quick, where's Dio Madden? Where's Dio Madden on Twitter? I need to be entertained. Please and thank you.
Up next, it was Sasha Banks and Bayley taking on Charlotte Flair and the new 24/7 champion Carmella. First, yes, they were bigger tonight. My eyes. Second, for those of you who are following the channel, you know what I'm talking about. Second, for this match, the 24/7 championship rules were suspended. Just needed to state that right off the bat. As for the actual match here, well, I think for the purposes of having Carmella in the match.
Suspended? So?
I don't know what else to say other than that, but the match really didn't hold my interest too much. It almost felt like a dead match. There was more focus on the post-match activities more than anything. The finish of the match was Banks locking the bank statement on Carmella to pick up the win. Now, with the match being over, the 24/7 championship rules were back in effect, so Truth grabbed Carmella and got the heck out of Dodge as they were chased by Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, the Kabuki Warriors, and Ember Moon.
You didn't mention the best bit.
Oh,
you didn't mention the best bit.
I was going to leave that to you.
Kyrie had a telescope out while tracing it. I was like, what?
Who runs with
and
it?
Also, you missed out the worst bit. It was a tag team match, and when Carmella was going to tag, Charlotte was just like standing there. So it's like, oh right, so she's a heel, and then she immediately attacks Becky and Sasha because they're going to attack her. So she's face. So she went from face to heel to face in about 40 seconds. That is a Big Show world record.
Yeah, we also need to make mention of the fact that Bayley and Banks, after the match was over, were attacking Charlotte, and even the point had Charlotte almost in the bank statement, if I remember correctly, until Becky Lynch made her presence known, would go after both Bayley and Banks, and for a very brief period, lock the disarm her on Banks before Bayley dragged her out of the ring. So we just wanted to throw that out there for you guys as well. Up next, it was Ali taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. This was a match that was supposed to take place last week, but didn't due to a pre-match attack by Nakamura. One big spot I have to mention here, and I think you know what I'm talking about, Ash, is Ali's dive to the outside on Nakamura, where the landing looked so brutal in slow motion because it appeared that he almost landed on his neck, but somehow, Ash, he popped right back up from it like nothing was wrong.
That was an actual suicide, nearly.
Yeah. And if there's one thing Ali knows how to do, it's oversell his spots. I'm referring to his post spot when Nakamura sent Ali into the ring post from the apron. What a landing. But anyway, Ali would once again get the advantage on Nakamura, but Sami Zayn would become a distraction to Ali, so much to the point as Ali was chasing Zayn back into the ring, but as he would get in there, he would get caught by a Kinshasa by Nakamura as he would pick up the win. And one thing we were speculating on the live reactions is with the Saudi... I can't do it like you can, Ash, but with the Saudi... I need to make that into a sound alert or something, but with that show coming up within the next month, we honestly been speculating as to who Nakamura will defend the Intercontinental title against at that show.
Well, you know, because we've got obviously Hell in a Cell. I'm guessing it's going to be Ali, maybe. But the problem is, if you put the belt on Ali, he ain't going to Saudi.
No.
Zayn is definitely not going to Saudi. So the only person available is Nakamura. So they're pretty much giving away the fact, I would argue, that Nakamura's retaining and dropping the belt to somebody that is willing to go to Saudi in 4 weeks.
Up next, it was the New Day taking on the B Team. First off, do I even want to know what Big E was doing tonight? You know what? Never mind. If there's anything I've learned from gaming with Noble and John, it's to never ask questions that I don't want the answers to. Now, to me, this match screamed time filler. And that's all this was pretty much. Just time filler. The finish of the match was New Day hitting the midnight hour on Bo to pick up the win. And after the match, they would go to the San Francisco 49ers in the front row to celebrate. I don't know why, Ash, but like I said, this was just basically time filler.
Yeah. I can't wait till we get to for the.
Well, let's go to Backstage first. When Mandy Rose was handing out copies of the magazine she was on the cover for, when she would bump into Otis Otis from Heavy Machinery, he would take a weird selfie with her and snag a copy of the magazine for himself. I don't know why either.
I mean, I do.
Well, whenever I look at Otis and the way he acts to me, actually, to me, he screams Chris Farley. He screams the overweight funny guy.
No, I see your point. He's good at that.
Yeah, he's made me laugh a few times, and there are some times when he just made me want to cry.
It's weird. Yeah. When he's in his sort of wrestling gear, you sort of have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
When he's doing funny stuff, like the stuff, you laugh your ass off. Despite the fact there is no difference between the two.
He's got more clothing. But anyway, guys, it's time for the best part of SmackDown Live ever. You couldn't end your USA Network run without having the hottest women's tag team in WWE, and I'm referring to the Kabuki Warriors.
Okay, you ruined the joke. I was going to ask Harley Race, and he was going to...
All right, well, Harley Race, who are the hottest tag team in WWE right now?
Oh, great. I have to queue it up again, because... Harley...
Thank you, Harley. I'm talking about Asuka and Kairi Sane. Am I going to be biased here? Fuck yeah, I'm going to be biased here. I mean, look at the shirt I'm wearing. If you guys don't like them, then that's your opinion. But here on this channel, I'm going to mark the fuck out every time they're on TV and used properly. They would be in a match against Fire and Desire, and here's how you can tell CFO $ is just getting lazy. Instead of coming up with a new tag team theme for them, just like they did with the Kabuki Warriors, they combine...
Ooh, no, they didn't. The Kabuki Warriors is just Kairi's music.
Well, I was trying to put them two together. I didn't say they came up with a new theme for them. It was like but just like what they did with the Kabuki Warriors, they combined Mandy and Sonya's individual themes into one mashup theme. That's what I was trying to say.
And where you can sort of get away with it because they've got the same sort of Oriental style sound to them. With Mandy and Sonya's, they are sort of two completely different genres of...
Yeah.
And it doesn't really gel, and it just...
Kind of like with that Royal mashup theme they did with Baron Corbin last night on Raw. That still needs some tweaking, but I don't know. To me, it just screams lazy. If you can't come up with a new theme for the tag team, and all you do is just take each individual theme and just mash it up, to me that just screams lazy.
Remember back to when Jim Johnston did the Rated RKO match?
Mm-hmm.
And made it work, and like the Jericho one and the Show Miz one, when it worked.
See, with Jericho, it's not really a mashup per se, but what they did, they kind of morphed them together, and it worked. I don't remember Show Miz too much, but I don't know, just flat out taking their individual themes and just mashing them up without doing anything special for it, that's lazy. That's just lazy in my book. But anyway, at one point during this match, Mandy threw Kairi Sane to the outside, took one of her magazines. By the way, should we mention how Corey Graves reacted when he got one of Mandy Rose's magazines?
Yeah, Carmella tweeted afterwards with her and Corey backstage with him looking down at her belt, and she's going, "Oh, my eyes are up here." So, and considering the reaction to Mandy's Maxim Australia, it's like Maxim Australia. It's like pub, you know. I don't know how many people watch it in Australia, you know, the show live or whatever. Also, how many people buy magazines anymore? The amount of magazines that I've seen that now don't exist, but that have gone to digital only, is very numerous. So even Maxim over here doesn't exist. It's only maybe digital only. I'm not sure. Somehow it still exists in Australia.
All right. While Ashley's looking up that info, Mandy took one of her magazines and told Kairi that she would never look like her. And I, for one, don't want Kairi to look like her. Kairi is, my opinion, is way hotter than Mandy Rose, and Asuka is way hotter than Mandy Rose. The Kabuki Warriors are way hotter than Fire and Desire will ever be. Anyway, while Mandy was mocking Kairi, it looked like Kairi was supposed to kick the magazine out of Mandy's hands, but it was either Mandy wasn't in the right position, or Kyrie wasn't in the right position, so I'm going to blame it on Mandy. The finish of the match was Kyrie hitting the insane elbow on Mandy to pick up the win. And all I got to say right here, Ashley, is the same thing that you said on the live reactions. The right team won.
Yeah. Just because, man, when they do the brand split, Mandy needs to go to 205 Live. And by that, I mean cancel. Even though 205 Live isn't being cancelled. But we'll get to that. That's a bloody interesting point in this.
Shane McMahon and his lawyers were in the ring as Shane would call out Kevin Owens to respond to the wrongful termination lawsuit and gave Owens two options. Option one was for him to drag out the lawsuit with appeal after appeal and make Owens spend all kinds of money on court costs. Or option two would be for Owens to drop the lawsuit, he would be reinstated, and the $100,000 fine would disappear. But KO would say that's not good enough and suggested a match where essentially it's a loser leaves WWE ladder match with everything written up in a briefcase, and it would be dangling high above their heads. Shane agreed to it even though the mic cut out prematurely. So the only question I have for this part right here, Ash, is when is the match going to take place? Will this be on the premiere next week on Fox, or will this be happening at Hell in a Cell?
More likely Hell in a Cell. Or... See, I was going to say Saudi, but that isn't happening because Owens doesn't go to Saudi. So... realistically, it has to be Hell in a Cell. Unless they're desperate and they put it on episode 2 of Fox because they want the ratings to stay high. I don't know. More than likely Hell in a Cell, I'd have thought. But the confusing thing is, you know, if Shane wins, Owens remains fired.
Yeah.
That's the issue. It's like, so is that him move? If he moves down to NXT, it's like, you know, if they can do that, that would be weird for somebody as good as him. So,
after that,
Becky wasn't the stupid thing that ended.
Yeah, it was Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was talking about her upcoming Hell in a Cell match backstage with Sasha Banks when she would get assaulted by the boss to end SmackDown Live. Why? Why was this the ending? Why did they need to add more fuel to the fire of their rivalry? I don't get it. I mean, it was already a hot rivalry to begin with. Why end it with that?
Yeah. I found the answer.
Found the answer? Well, while you think about those upside down reasons, let's go to overall score and thoughts. Tonight was an okay season finale for SmackDown Live on the USA Network, because starting next week, they will be on Fridays, so that means the SmackDown Review podcast will be moving to Fridays as well. Bryan and Erick Rowan did what it needed to do, and that was set up the tag match for him and Reigns to take on the Bludgeon Brothers at Hell in a Cell. Kofi's backstage interview wasn't that much better than Becky's last night on Raw. How does Mike Kanallis keep getting TV time? Please stop with the short jokes on Gable, even if it's in song form from Elias. The women's tag team match could have been better. How does Ali not have a broken freaking neck after that dive tonight? New Day B Team were just a time filler. Otis scares the fuck out of me. Anytime the Kabuki Warriors are on TV is best match of the night for me. And when will the ladder match with Owens and Shane take place? Will it be at the season premiere or at Hell in a Cell? You guys tell me in the comments below. Sasha beating up Becky backstage. Again, just to add fuel to the fire of their rivalry. But again, what was the point other than that. Overall score of SmackDown Live gets a 3 out of 5 with Best Match of the Night, going to whatever the Kabuki Warriors do with worst segment of the night, going to the tech person who decided to cut off Shane's mic early in his promo. Kevin Owens would propose the ladder match to him, and Shane would mouth the words, "You're on," but the microphone was cut off. Anyway, Ash, over to you. Overall score and thoughts on SmackDown Live tonight?
This technical problem seems to be a trend with the live mic not working for bloody Triple H on NXT. You know, when he said now, it was just, "We show you," and then he opened the curtain. And it was just like, right. Great job, Kevin. Yeah, I'd say overall 3 out of 5. Put it on the same level as Raw last night. Yeah, the matches, probably match quality was sort of down, but you know, Bryan and Rowan had a good little thing. The women's tag was okay, but the right person went over. The Gable thing was unnecessary, other than to, you know, short joke. Sadly, you know, I have to let something slide. In terms of best match, I'd still say it was the Bryan Rowan little deal. In terms of moment, did you know that SmackDown was first on when Bill Clinton was president, and now they're going to be on Fox? So that fact was just saying that you started 20 years ago and now you're going to a new channel. How factually important is that?
I don't know.
Anything but progressive. Oh wait, they're sponsoring Fox's SmackDown next week. Lol.
Well, anyway, guys, that's been our thoughts on SmackDown Live tonight. And don't forget, on next week, the SmackDown Live reviews will now be moving to Fridays to coincide with Friday Night SmackDown. Yes, Ash?
You need to mention 2-0.
Okay, go ahead and mention it.
Because you get the big... So, 2 decent matches. Humberto Carrillo beating Angel Garza. And Oney Lorcan, the debuting Danny Burch, beating Neeson Good. And then the show went off air. So, you know, we have the dirt sheets telling us that 205 Live is moving to Fridays after SmackDown. But did WWE tell us about what was happening, considering obviously it can't be on Tuesday because of SmackDown moving? No.
Well, anyway, guys,
You might want to tell the people that are actually bloody interested in your product, and don't make them leave him waiting just to get some confirmation not from you.
well, guys, what are your reactions to that? Also, what are your thoughts on SmackDown Live? What was the best match of the night? Worst match of the night? We definitely want to hear what you guys out there have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, be sure you slam that like button, like a champ, and if you guys want to see more of WrestleDOWN right here on the channel, you know the 2 ways you got to do it. You got to link up the subscribe button and hit that bell icon to turn on notifications, and that way you guys will never miss out on another video right here on my channel. So with my special thanks to the Studly Man Ashley, I'm your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, reminding all of you guys out there to just stay awesome. Bye, guys!
Oh my god. Roman Reigns' stuff is now $300.